truly is. I mean,
Yeah.
people are like, is it hard to do 8 shows a week? Do you get bored? And, I did Mormon for almost 4 years, and I was like, no. Like, I just...
Please welcome to the mic, Casey Balsham. It's Broadway, bitch.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to It's Broadway, bitch. I am Casey Balsham. Today in the new studio. Very excited to have this guest. The resume, this is just literally a blip. This resume is extensive. It is long. It's amazing. Just a few: Hamilton, Children of Eden, Porgy and Bess, Book of Mormon, and most recently, Our Lady Larkin in Once Upon a Mattress. I have Nikki Renne Daniels in the studio. Thank you, Kev. We'll have the soundboard back next week. That was perfect. Nikki, thank you so much for being here. Very excited. Coming off of Once Upon a Mattress, which I don't want to brag, but I was in high school.
Wasn't everyone.
I mean, was that one of those
our
ones?
Cast. Like, all of our principal cast had never done it before.
Oh, really?
Literally everyone at the stage door was like, oh, I did it in high school or college, or I'm currently... My middle school
doing it now.
Currently doing it.
That's so fun. It's so funny that middle school, because there are some adult themes in there.
Yeah.
Especially pertaining to Miss Lady Larkin.
That's true. That's true.
I was, do you know the inexplicable scene where I think a maid follows Lady Larkin in and she says, that'll be enough, Emily.
Yeah.
I was Emily.
Oh,
I had a
okay.
costume change and everything to just walk in and go, okay. And then I left. My dad, it's still his favorite role I've ever done. So
Great.
Lady Larkin, one of the, I really love this role. Although this time when I was seeing it, I was noticing the song in a little while. She says 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's just you. Are we implying that she's having twins?
No, I think it's more of an implication of what their future life would be.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Because I was.
It's a little early to know, especially in the 1400s, but if she was going to be having twins.
Because it was the first time that I was like listening to that song. I was like, why is she counting to 4? I was like, there's 1, 2, 3. But then I was like, I don't know. It's all kind of even when it plays into kind of like him being a little. So I was like, maybe it's all like part of this whole thing. Right. So Lady Larkin, I want to tie this into because you have an album called Home.
Yes.
Available to stream on iTunes and purchase.
Indeed.
If Lady Larkin had an album, what would hers be called?
Oh, goodness. The Love I Feel for Harry, maybe.
16 and pregnant.
Yes.
The Love I Feel for Harry. Okay, that would be a really nice one. Mine was a little more like literal. The Love I Feel for Harry.
Yeah.
I love that. Talk to us about making your own album.
Oh, gosh, it was so long ago. It came out about, 13 years ago?
Was it 13 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2012.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I self-produced it.
It's kind of nice that we can do that now.
Yeah, it was really just a labor of love. Like, people kept asking me, do you have an album? And back then, I'd sing with a lot of symphony orchestras. And back then, like, after you performed at a show, you would have like a table where you could sell your CDs, which isn't really a thing anymore.
No.
But I felt like I needed something to, like some sort of merch to have.
You need merch.
And also I just wanted to have something. And it's funny, I listen to it now and it still sounds like me, but I feel like it sounds like young me.
Yeah, well, 13 years, that's a whole like person away, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I had my daughter in 2013.
Yeah.
So, and she's 11.
She's got thoughts.
She's a middle schooler, you know? I guess my album is like a middle schooler now.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
When you think back, it is weird to think, because, like I'm 42 and, you see all these things on the internet and they're like, 1980 whatever one is as far away as the 30s were in the 80s, and I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
don't ever tell me that.
Oh wow, yeah.
And you just think about time like that, so it's very interesting. You have your resume, like I said, is like you've been in everything. You've kind of touched a little bit of everything. So I want to know, is there a certain show that you would go back to in a heartbeat, and is there a show where you're like, I'm okay if I never hear this music again?
Oh, gosh. Well, let's start with the positive.
Let's start with the positive. I like that. We're going to start on a high note.
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton, of course, was like a dream.
Yeah.
And when I went into it, I knew I was closing the Chicago company, so that was part of why I agreed to do it because I had 2 kids at the time and I had to leave home for 9, almost 10 months.
Oh my gosh.
And so just knowing it was like a limited amount of time was good, but also there was like a finite amount of time I could do it. It wasn't like, oh, well, at the end of this, you can always re-sign or whatever. Like I did at Book of Mormon a lot because I stayed there for almost 4 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to go back to Hamilton, I guess, at some point, if they'd have me.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not, I don't think.
I think it just celebrated 10 years.
Oh,
right?
I think off-Broadway. I think it did open off-Broadway 10 years ago. And
Which
then
is
on Broadway, it won in like the 2016 Tonys, I guess. So
Something
yeah,
like that.
It was 2015.
But again, it is weird because I think about like, being in New York and I'm like, oh my God, I remember when it opened. I was like, oh my God, 10 years. Okay, I've been here 10 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Hamilton is one that you would go back to. And
For sure.
what is one where you're like, no, thank you?
Well, let's see. I've been in quite a few flops.
Have you?
Quite a few. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's sort of how I racked up the number of Broadway shows I've done is because some of them were for like 2 months. I was only in 9 for 2 months. I was The Look of Love was only 2 months. Lestat was only 2 months. And as much as I love Elton John, maybe I wouldn't need to return to Lestat the musical if I had to pick one.
Okay.
But yeah, I did a lot of, and then I was like a vacation swing in Little Shop. So, I did lots of like short stints in shows.
Yeah.
My first like 5 years living here, I think I did like 5 shows.
Which is a lot.
Short stints, yeah.
I don't even know what Lestat is about.
It's based on the Anne Rice novels, like Interview with a Vampire and what's this? It's a TV show. Is it Interview with a Vampire? I think it's
Interview with a Vampire was the
there was a movie
the big movie
with Tom Cruise and
Brad Pitt.
And I think there was just a TV show like a few years ago.
Probably.
Version
I
of
feel like that's
yeah.
all we're. It's very hard to get an original idea out there right now.
It's true.
It feels like everything is being recycled.
It's true.
Even on Broadway.
But also Lestat was like the end of a trio of vampire sort of flops. Like it was Dance of the Vampires and I think Dracula maybe.
And then they said, let's throw one more in
and
there.
then Lestat. And then right after that, like True Blood came out and was a huge hit.
And you guys were like,
and
damn
I was
it.
like, maybe those vampire musicals
If we'd only
would've-
waited one more year.
Yeah, maybe they
that's
could
so wild how that
had
happens.
a run if
But
the
it is-
vampire stuff was more in the culture.
Totally. It is interesting how I feel like that happens though. It's like they're like the same thing. There's something with the same thing and it all comes out at the same time.
Yeah.
Because there's like 2 Gatsbys right now.
Right, yeah.
Right? Like there's still one.
My husband was in the Broadway one, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys are both performers.
Yeah.
Okay, I find it so interesting because, as also someone in entertainment, and I'm married to a comedian, but people are always like, don't shit where you eat. I'm like, well, those are the best bathrooms. And
Yeah.
they understand my schedule. So, like, did
Exactly.
people warn you against kind of dating against another performer, or is this are you just like, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do?
Yeah, I mean, of course everyone's like you said, don't shit where you eat or, beware of the showmances. And I definitely had a few that didn't go so well.
Oh, yeah.
But, I think it's who you meat. That's where
you're hanging
in
out.
shows, which
Yeah.
are a weird schedule to meet anyone that's not an actor. I did a little bit of online dating, and I think the people that I chose weren't actors, but it's just, we call them muggles, it's just like a different
they're regular
mindset.
people. Yeah.
And, like you said, we really understand what the other person is going through. Like we know all the same people and
like the same emotions and the same like weird little nuances of like, oh, I just did change this here. And like if you were explaining it to somebody who's not maybe a performer, they'd kind of be like, okay, but you're like, but they get it.
Totally.
That's why I
totally.
never understand why people are like, don't do it. I'm like, it's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It's the
I
only
agree.
thing that makes
as
sense.
long as you
to
find
me.
the right person, but that's
As long as it's right. Yeah.
with anything.
I mean, there's shitty people everywhere.
Exactly.
There's even if they're performers or not. Because you guys met at Les Mis.
Yeah.
Now, Les Mis obviously has, a love at first sight scene.
Yeah.
Was that like it for you and your husband? Or I read that you guys
No.
played poker together.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you were
we
like, oh, he's a
did.
gambler. I like that.
Well, actually, my good friend Tomar, who I was in Lestat with right before I did Les Mis, he grew up with my husband.
Oh, fun.
And so he's like, oh, my friend. And my husband, this was his first equity job. Like he went to a non-equity
Okay.
open call and got Les Mis. So
Wait, really?
Yeah. So this
There's
was
hope. Or at least there was.
Yes, there is. So, this was his first time even living in New York or anything.
Right.
So my friend Tomar was like, oh, my friend from childhood is moving to the city, so you got to look out for him.
Be nice to him.
Yeah, so on the first day I was like, I'm going to be like a big sister to you if you have any questions about the trains or anything,
Very funny.
New York. And then this cast was really close, and every 2-show day we would play poker in between shows.
I love
and
that.
so that's sort of how we got to be friends. And we really were just friends first. And he's the first person that I dated that I was just friends with first. And I knew I liked him as
better
a
that way.
person and thought he was just a great human.
Yeah.
So then, things started to get a little flirtier a few months into the run. And then everyone's like, what's going on with you guys? So then it kind of
we play poker, leave us alone.
turned into something. I was also nervous to have a showmance go wrong and then be stuck in a building with someone that you
doing Les
dated
Mis every night with all these emotions.
But it didn't go well. So,
Do you guys still gamble? Are you guys still are you guys going to Atlantic City on a Tuesday just for fun date night?
No, we don't really. I think the only time we played poker outside of Les Mis was, Leia Salonga had us all over once to play poker at the Carlisle. She was doing a show at the Carlisle. Yeah, she had a poker
New
reunion.
York night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess when you do a show there, they give you a suite or something. So she had this suite at the Carlisle, and we all had a little reunion a few years after Les Mis and went over there and played poker with her. And then we were on a cruise once, and we went to the casino, and we're like, $50 limit. I played poker and immediately lost. And we're okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wait, I really love that. That's really fun. So it was a gradual thing, friends, and eventually you got married. You have a family now.
Yeah.
And I see that you guys you guys perform together sometimes.
We do, yeah.
So obviously, because I always wonder, if you're doing, because you do holiday concerts together with your kids.
Yeah.
So has there ever been a time when you were you guys have gotten a disagreement about what you guys want to do for the performance, where he's like, I want to do this, and you're like, we're absolutely never doing that? Or do you guys because obviously you like to perform together.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work for some people to work together like that.
I think we work really well together.
That's
actually.
great.
I mean, this holiday concert is very specific because it's in his hometown, and he self-produced everything. He hired the orchestra and the choir. We had a 100-person choir with high school students from all around the community, and the arts community there is really big, and he took dance and did all the things in community theater, so he wants to try to bring in the community when we do it. So it's all kind of, he's got so much on his plate that we just kind of pick songs.
You're there's no time to just
there's
disagree.
no time to kind of quibble over I want to sing Let It Snow. No, you should sing Let It Snow. You know what I mean? It's just, there's only a finite amount of material anyway for holiday shows. So we just pick
so
songs.
You're let's just pick the songs.
Yeah.
So, and your kids sing?
Yeah, they do.
So are they interested in this line of work? And are you okay with that?
First of all, I'm okay with whatever makes them happy. But
yeah, that's true.
It's interesting. My older daughter, when she was younger, up until maybe 6 or so, would sing all the time, everywhere. I have so many videos posted of her just belting, just always singing. And now she's a little shyer, a little more.
It happens.
She did Matilda actually last year.
Oh, really?
I think at the end of her 5th grade year, she played Matilda in Matilda.
She was Matilda?
Yeah. And
yes.
I do say so. She was brilliant. I mean, perfect British accent, acting, beats, she just gets it in a way that I did not. I don't come from a performing family, so I feel it's just a part of her DNA. She just understands what it is to act and sing. But now she's not that interested in it. And
you're really good though.
Yeah, I know.
You're talented. you have to continue. Actually,
if you wanted to do
become
this,
Gypsy.
Totally. I'm don't be Mama Rose.
Yeah.
And actually, when she did Matilda, there was an agent that was interested in meeting with her, but my husband and I talked about it, and we're we don't want her to be doing self tapes in middle school.
I know.
Unless she was if she was really I want to do this, I'm so committed to it. But I think it's just something she's naturally good at and enjoys, and so I want her to if she does want to do it, to kind of explore it on her own and get to there on her own without us pushing her to do it before she's really ready. I don't want her to deal with all that rejection and all that stuff. but my younger daughter, once she's taking dance class and she took theater class and she says she wants to be an actor and a baker.
It's always the two things.
And, she's like, if we do our family concert next year, can I do 2 solos instead of 1? Like, she's like in it. Like, she really enjoys it.
I love that.
But at the same time is like a little bit shy about singing sometimes too. So I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like I wonder if that's just like, something that younger kids, because I would always be shy too about it. And like, you wonder, you're like, okay, well, if you want to do this though.
Yeah.
But it's also like you said, it's like you don't want to push it. It's like, if you want to do this, we'll go at your pace.
Yeah.
But like,
absolutely.
we're going to have to sing.
Yeah. I will say my younger daughter has like just the natural confidence of, I don't know. She's just so naturally confident, and like I hope it never goes away. She's
Kids
like, if
are
anything,
wild like
overconfident.
that. Yes,
but like, what woman have you met that's like overconfident? I'm like, never change, always be this way.
Stay this way. There's nothing wrong. There's never let anybody tell you that
you're amazing.
Yes,
you know it, and that's great.
Okay, so we are support. If they want to be in this, we are supporting them, and if they don't, we are supporting them.
Yes, absolutely.
Because a baker is also a very fun career.
Indeed.
There's success in baking as well.
Yes, there is.
So you have like toured, so you said, because you've done all these Broadway shows, but you also toured with like symphonies and all this stuff. And I was like looking at all the different like ones. You've been all over the country. So I want to know, what is the place that they couldn't pay you enough money to go back to, and why was it Modesto? Because I know it was. I've been there.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny that you just said that. Well, first of all, the people at the Modesto Symphony are lovely.
I'm sure they are.
Wonderful.
Modesto, nothing
Met
against
lots
you.
of nice people, beautiful choir. The symphony was great, but I will admit that it took forever to get there, too.
I know. You're like, where even is this place?
It was a little bit, after 6 hours on a plane and 2 hours in a cab.
Driving in the middle of nowhere.
To then get there. It did leave maybe a little to be desired as a town. But the people were wonderful.
Yeah. When you do those things, how long are you staying in each city?
For symphony gigs, usually maybe like 4 or 5 days at the most.
Okay, so
I'll go
it's a blip.
On a Wednesday, you rehearse on like Thursday, do the concert Friday, Saturday, and leave on Sunday usually.
That's not a bad gig.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Especially it's like sort of what I do when I'm not in 8 shows a week, or sometimes I'll take off from a show to go do a concert. But it's really nice because it keeps me like, vocally exercised well, and also I can still like perform while spending still most of the time with my kids, which is really nice. It's a little more nerve-wracking just because you have to learn everything on your own. Like there's no music director being like, these are your notes, and this is like you show up and like there's 60 people behind you and here's your mic and you better know when you're coming in. Like, it's just like you've gotta, but now that I've done it a lot and I've sort of repeat a lot of the same songs, it's much easier. But it is a little bit nerve-wracking in that way if you're not a true like musician. But I grew up like playing piano and flute and stuff, and I read music.
So you kind of know a little bit of behind the scenes, I guess, of the music. That's interesting. And so I want to know, because you said it's like a couple days. Isn't City Center only like, because Once Upon a Mattress started at City Center,
Yeah.
How is it, like 2 weeks of rehearsal?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, is it even 2 weeks? It might be like 10 days. You start like on a Tuesday. I guess it's 2 weeks. Yeah, you start like on a Tuesday, and then the next Tuesday is your final dress, which just happens to be everyone important in the business coming to see you.
Why not?
Before you even open.
Why not?
And then you have, for Mattress, we had a 2-week run. I think normally it's a 1-week run, or maybe they changed it.
I feel like sometimes there was like a weekend, and then now it's like,
it just depends on the show. I think.
Yeah.
But we had 2 full weeks. But it was a short process. So if anything, I'm like an over preparer, or like if I'm playing a person who's like based on a person, if they wrote a book, I've read it. Like, even if it's like a reading, I just like to feel like comfortable in the skin of the person. So before I even started rehearsal for Mattress, I had memorized everything. It's kind of the only way to be able to really make choices as an actor.
I was wondering if it was like less pressure because people know that it's such a small window, or if like it just means you're doing more work by yourself.
Yeah, I think
it's probably different for everybody.
Especially for me, I felt like this was like the highest profile thing I've ever done that was an offer. Like it just came to me as an offer, and everyone was amazing. And
Yes.
has like a Tony nomination or a win or many. Sutton has like however many Tonys, and the cast was like
It was amazing.
really great. So
Yeah.
I was like, I can't show up on day one like, what's my line? I'm like
Right.
the
You're
least
like, I'm not gonna be
lauded
that one.
person
I'm
in
not
this
gonna be
group.
that one.
I better
Yeah.
like show up kind of knowing it, so I'm ready to, make choices and like hopefully be good.
Yeah. So were most people kind of already at that point, like you were like when you guys go
Yeah.
into rehearsals, or most? Because how long before you went into that 2 weeks did you know you were Lady Larkin?
I think I got the offer like in November, and we started in January. So
Okay.
it was maybe a couple months before.
Okay.
So
Throw a
I was-
holiday or two in there in the
yeah.
middle.
And I was doing
Not
other
busy
like
at all.
I had like holiday gigs, and
Yeah.
I was doing a reading or a workshop, but I just made time to, because then I followed that right up with Children of Eden at Lincoln Center like the next weekend, or the next week I started rehearsal for that. So I was kind of memorizing them both at the same time, because I knew that I wouldn't have time to do the Mattress run and then have a week
so
to
much.
prepare for the Children of Eden run. So I would kind of do like one day this, one day that, and like just try to memorize everything.
That's so much. That's so much.
It's a lot.
I mean, but Sutton Foster was kind of doing the same thing because she was doing
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd and she was doing.
she's
Once Upon a
incredible.
Mattress.
Like I truly don't like. She literally had her put in for Sweeney Todd like during or maybe before the run of Mattress started.
I feel like it was like the same day.
Yeah,
it was like way too close. I was uncomfortable. I was like,
Yeah.
this feels like I'm scared. Yeah,
And
it was
I think
like right
they even
after.
ended up starting earlier than they were supposed to, or something. Like she's incredible, and she like teaches fitness classes. Like honestly, I don't know.
You're like, she's got like a whole other person. No, I
Yeah.
wonder, like, so she's, the lead. You've led shows before. You were Belle in Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Is there a certain like level of expectation on the lead to kind of be the rah-rah person for the cast? Say like when there's something like an election that happens in the middle
Yeah.
of your run.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way? Was Sutton that way? Or is it kind of like if people are kind of like down, like, is it the lead's job to kind of go, let's do this, guys?
I think every show is different.
Yeah.
I think it's nice if the lead is like that, but I'm
Totally.
not totally necessary, because also
Yeah.
they're usually,
people.
you're leading a Broadway show, you're usually someone who has a lot of other things going on. Maybe you're shooting a TV show and maybe you're doing whatever.
Yeah. Or you're just on vocal rest between shows.
Yeah. So I think sometimes that's the case. I think the main thing is that sort of the demeanor of whoever is at the top of the
Right.
show kind of trickles down into the cast. So
Right.
Sutton is like the nicest woman in America. So like if you have Sutton and Michael Urie, who is also
I
just
love
the
him.
sweetest,
I
most
saw
wonderful
his
person.
understudy and I was really upset because I wanted to see him, but his understudy was also phenomenal.
Yes,
He
so
was
great.
phenomenal.
So
I was
great.
cracking up and I was like, man, I love Michael Urie, but this guy did a really good job.
Yeah, Daniel Beeman, and he's so sweet also. It was
Yeah.
really, Mattress, we all kept saying like, we were all like so close. It was just the nicest group of people.
Yeah.
Funny. Everyone was
Daniel
hilarious.
Breaker cracked me up.
Daniel is amazing.
He's so funny.
We did Book of Mormon together for like 3
Yeah.
years, and he is the most amazing chef cook. And
Is he?
always brings in like food. Like truly, if you go on his Instagram page, it's like all food. It's like has nothing to do with what he's doing acting wise. Like he would bring in chili and like all these amazing dishes. So he was great. I mean, it was just the nicest group.
Yeah.
And the Hudson backstage is very weird, like how
Is
it's
it?
set up. So
It's a beautiful
most of the
theater.
principals were like in sort of this area where in the middle was like the hair department where everyone got their wigs on, and then
Mm-hmm.
the dressing rooms were like surrounded it. So people would just come out in the middle and like congregate and chat and laugh and
Yeah.
have fun, which could have been terrible if like everyone didn't get along well. But
Yeah.
the hair people were like, this worked out really well because
Like, we like you guys.
any other cast, this might have been really annoying. But yeah, Gavin Creel, I did Book of Mormon with for a
Yeah.
year, and he was like the best. Just going back to you saying, are they like the cheerleader? He was
Yeah.
the best at like
He seemed like he was
rallying
like
the
the
troops.
soul and like performances.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like he especially was good at, anytime there was anything going on, he would just rally everyone together. Or even before every show at 5,
Yeah.
he would like run around and say hi to people, in their dressing rooms before the show. And
Yeah.
he was really great at that kind of
It's
thing.
kind of like you're reminded when things like that happen. You're like, oh my God, we're really lucky to be doing what we love.
Yeah,
Like, remember, even if it's a bad day, we're like, we're doing it.
yeah.
This is the dream. we're on Broadway.
Yeah.
And we're doing it.
It truly is. I mean,
Yeah.
people are like, is it hard to do 8 shows a week? Do you get bored? And, I did Mormon for almost 4 years, and I was like, no. Like, I love it so much. And it feels like a privilege. Like, there's so many people who would kill to be getting to do what we do. And, of course, it's hard. Like, 8 shows a week is really difficult. Sometimes you don't make it for all 8. But, I just think of every show, there's someone who it's their first Broadway show. Or
I know.
It's, they saved up their money. It's expensive. They saved up and they brought their family, and maybe they're taking a trip to New York. Maybe they live in New York. But, it's just like these people paid their hard-earned money to like see us and escape for a few hours. And what
It's like, let's
a
give them a
privilege
show.
it is to be able to, especially with everything that's been going on during the election season, to do a silly, fun show like Once Upon a Mattress. Like, so many people came and were like, I needed this escape, and so it truly feels like an honor every time I'm on any stage, but especially a Broadway stage, and get to perform.
Yeah. I love that. And were you pregnant in any of your shows?
Yeah.
How did you do that? I'm currently pregnant and I am not happy about it. No, I mean, I'm very happy about it, but I have been so sick. And I think about Lindsay Mendez in Merrily, and I think about anybody that has been pregnant in a show, because I'm just 12 weeks today. So I'm hoping that I'm out of the bad part, but I've been canceled. It's been rough.
Yeah.
So how? Or were you just lucky and you weren't like that sick?
I was lucky in both of my pregnancies that I wasn't too sick.
Okay.
But my second one, I was a little more than my first, actually.
Yeah, this is 2, so I feel like this one's really testing me.
How old is your oldest?
She's 21 months.
Oh my goodness!
So I know,
babies.
I know.
She's a baby.
But I was like, I'm old. I gotta pop them out.
Yeah,
I gotta pop them out.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's New York living.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, my first pregnancy, I was doing. It was within the first 12 weeks of my pregnancy, and I was doing the Radio City Christmas Spectacular.
No, you were doing Rockettes.
I wasn't a Rockette.
Okay. I was like, you were kicking.
So
that was my worst nightmare.
Yeah. So if you've seen the show, they have like all the Rockettes numbers, and then like sort of halfway through, there's like a storyline of a parent and children who are Christmas shopping, or the spirit, whatever the spirit of Christmas storyline is. So it was a busy working mom and her daughter, and we're looking for this specific video game for a Christmas gift or something. So that was our storyline, and we had like one little duet. So that was actually kind of the perfect show, because it was like you were on stage for maybe 20 minutes.
Okay, so
and
it wasn't like
you had one little easy duet, and like that was it. But Book of Mormon was a little harder. I mean, thankfully I'd been in the show for like 2 years when I got pregnant, and it was kind of like I just assumed once I got pregnant they'd be like, okay, bye, because I was like, I started the show when I was like a little older, and Nabulungi's supposed to be a teen.
She's a kid,
and I was like, so I wanted to have my kids like 2 years apart, but when I was in the show, I was like, this is a pretty good gig. I want to like take advantage of this.
Oh, sweet.
So we waited to try for my second, but then when I got pregnant, they gave me a leave of absence.
Amazing.
But I stayed in the show until I was, I think, 14 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was hard. I don't think I ever called out for sickness. Like, I didn't have.
Were you exhausted though?
Yeah, it's really
so tiring.
Tiring. I remember
Your body is doing so much.
It's doing so much, and like. Nick Rouleau, who played Elder Price.
Yes.
We had this one moment in the show every night where we're sort of like not frozen, but like he's talking to me like in silhouette, and other stuff is going on, and he was like, "Your boobs look amazing." And I was like, yeah,
they're getting there.
The only time I had, anything to show up there is when I was pregnant.
So that's fun.
Once
You're
he
like,
said
thanks
that,
for
I was
noticing.
like, okay, this is starting to probably get to be a problem. But yeah, they were they were really great at Book of Mormon. They let me.
You came back after.
I took a 10-month leave, and I came back when my daughter was, I think, 3.5 months old, and I did the show for like another year, I think, after that.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It was.
So when do you guys have family around, or did you have like night nannies and stuff?
No, we don't have any family anywhere close.
Yeah, either do we. It's really tough.
Yeah, it is.
It's
and
tough.
You pay a lot in babysitting.
Yes, you do.
Especially when
it kind of like evens out. Like I'll be like, I'm gonna get a babysitter and do the show, and then it's like then it's like no money. It's just a zero.
Yeah,
but I get to do something.
It's just zeroing it out.
It's just zeroing out.
Yeah, it's actually made me a lot more picky about things career-wise, because like a lot of regional theater pays maybe
Regional
like
prices.
$800, $1,000 a week, and that's like kind of what we pay our sitters when we're both working.
Yeah.
So like if my husband's in a show, it doesn't really make sense for me to leave town to do a show because we just won't make any money.
You would just be gone.
You'll just be away from
You
your
just
kids.
be away, yeah.
So it's made me just a little more selective, which is kind of good in a way to like have an excuse to say no to things that you're on the fence about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went back when she was 3.5 months old and did the show for another year, and it was great. And as far as nannies go, we've never hired like a career nanny. We've always had like, friends of ours who are out of work babysit for us. Yeah. And the amount of times that we've both been in a show has been pretty rare. We were both in company.
Right.
So like 2021 from January to July when that closed, we were both in the show and paying out massive amounts in babysitting.
Yes. Did they ever just come hang out backstage?
Well, since COVID, like they don't really let kids.
Yeah.
It all depends on the theater now. It's kind of all the policies are different, but especially Company was one of the first shows back, so they weren't even allowed in the building. I mean, you had the COVID compliance officer was like right at the door anytime you had to take a PCR anytime you hit that door. What if you had
them like on top of each other in a trench coat? They still didn't fool them at all. Right. Still swab the nose.
Yeah, but at Book of Mormon, like because my husband was in Gentleman's Guide when I was in Book of Mormon, so the theaters were back to back. So there was literally like an alleyway that you could go in between the theaters, and on Sundays I think my matinee was at 2 and his was at 3. So like I would bring her to my theater. And then the sitter would take her, and then after my show, she would bring her back, and then he would come back to my show because I had 2 shows on Sundays at 2 and 7, and his show was done at 5, so he would come to my theater in between shows and get her
fun, though.
And take her home. So yeah,
it's just so like New York, and I don't know. I bet when they're older, they're gonna be like, that was such a unique way to grow up, and realize how like cool it is.
They're so spoiled. They think that they're like. They are deserved the right to go backstage after a show and like meet. They're
like,
stars.
When can we meet them, mommy? No, are you guys still in New York, or did you do it? Did you move to Jersey?
No, we're in Harlem.
I think about it all the time.
Yeah, we're in Harlem.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's space up there.
Yeah, we have a little space. I mean, after I did Hamilton, we were able to buy like a bigger place right before the pandemic. Like we literally moved in February of 2020.
Okay, right at the buzzer.
Yeah, and we had a lot more space than our old 5th floor walk-up apartment. So
it's too many floors.
Yeah, so
too many floors.
Especially carrying in whilst pregnant.
Too many floors.
5 floors. I'd be like, I really need to go somewhere to leave this apartment.
It's rough. So so you're raising kids in New York.
Yeah, and I can go home in between
Broadway.
shows.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Company because you were in Company, and while COVID didn't bring many good things, it did take Katrina Lenk out for a little bit, which then got you. You got to be the lead, and you were the first Black woman lead in Company on Broadway.
Yes.
How did you celebrate that?
I always say, like, when people ask me about it, I was surprised that it was such a big deal because, like, in my mind, it was like, okay, I'm covering, so I have to learn this,
Right.
And so when I went on and there was like all this, I just didn't expect all of the fanfare. But of course, in hindsight, it's huge. There were Soundheim shows that I wanted to audition for when I first moved to the city that I just couldn't get seen for because they just weren't seeing people of color, So to go from not being able to be seen for a Soundheim show to being the first
the lead
Black person to play Bobby in Company on Broadway was a really big deal. And
it was.
My daughters got to come see me go on, and of course I hate that Katrina got sick, but it was the only time she called out was when she had COVID for the whole run. So if she hadn't have gotten COVID, I never would have gotten to go on. Yeah, and it was a lot of work. But yeah, it was.
You're leading. It's a full. You're it.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first show I've done where I had the 2 mics, because it's like you're on stage so much that if a mic goes out, they can't like call you off stage to change it. So a lot of times the like absolute lead of the show has 2 mics. So in case something happens,
I didn't know that
the sound department can switch to the other mic.
Oh, very cool.
So it was my first time in a role like that, where it was like you literally didn't leave stage, and technically it was a lot like just climbing through things and like where you could really get hurt.
Yeah.
So it was a huge undertaking.
Yeah, the set's kind of moving a lot.
Yeah, Bunny Christie did an amazing set. I think she won the Tony that year.
I think so.
Much deserved. But yeah, it was huge. I mean, it felt like the culmination of a lot of hard work in my career, you know. And I, once again, was so surprised as an understudy to get so much like attention about it. But so many people came out and like supported, and I was just blown away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are there any things that you do like when you get a role? Any like things you treat yourself to, or any like celebration? Like, is there like whenever you get a job, are you like sushi, champagne? Do you buy shoes? Like, what is it that you kind of like?
I do love shopping.
It's a fun thing to do.
So yeah, I usually like that bracelet that I took off because it was jangling. I treated myself to that on my Broadway debut, and
amazing!
It's a Tiffany charm bracelet.
Yeah.
And now my husband's bought me a bunch of charms, like when my daughter was born, for each daughter, and like I have a poker card on there.
Important part of your story.
So yeah, I usually like to get some sort of little bauble or treat.
Yeah, get yourself a treat. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk about a little bit of Broadway gossip.
Okay.
About what's going on the Reddits. Oh, wait, I have one more question about company, because Patti Lupone.
Yes.
Now, does she ever mess up? And if she messes up, does anybody call her on it?
Well, I mean,
because I feel
yes, she messes up.
She messes up.
I mean, it's 8 shows a week. Everybody.
Yes. But I'm like, but she see, like, but you know, you hear these stories of Patti, and you're like, I don't know if I would tell her. I'd be like, you did it right. I love the choice. It's a new line. I love the choice.
Mean, you know, she's a legend, and like anything she does is kind of brilliant.
Yes.
So yeah, of course, like
she messes up.
She messes up. She has a little more leeway maybe than everyone else.
Maybe a little bit. A little bit.
But she, you know, of course she does, because she's like our greatest treasure. And she's actually like really a team player in a lot of ways. Like she like the first week, at the end of the first week of rehearsal, she knew every PA's name, like everyone. She's professional like that. She comes from, I think she was in one of the first classes at Juilliard.
Oh, wow.
And you know, she really comes from that like ensemble work ethic, and she wants to like work with everyone to do a great show, you know. And it's so fun, like during tech rehearsal and previews, she would like come out on stage in her pajamas. She had these like embroidered pajamas with her name like embroidered on them, and like at intermission she had 2 dressing rooms, and one was sort of like a receiving room for guests, and it had all these snacks. And she was always like, come up and have some snacks, or she would like bring down her Cheez-Its.
So funny. These are Patti's Cheez-Its that she's sharing with the group today. I love that.
We used to all have to congregate stage left before the end of Act 1. After Marry Me a Little, we like rolled on our sort of opening set, and it was so hard to be quiet over there while Katrina's like singing her heart out and emoting, singing Marry Me a Little, and we're all over there like cracking jokes, and Patty's like laughing and
hilarious.
You know, but yeah, I kind of still can't believe that I like know her.
You're like, I've talked to her. I've had her Cheez-Its.
And when I went on for Bobby, like it was just me and her, like in that scene before Ladies Who Lunch, I was just like, it's so hard to like stay in it and be like, I am playing Bobby who's talking to Joanne, not like, oh my God,
being
I'm
just
looking
like
into Patti Lupone's eyes.
I know.
And I have to say words to her.
I know. I interviewed a couple people over the pandemic, Brittany and Bobby Conti, and they did say that they were like, it was, you know, we were meeting on Zoom until Patti Lupone was like, we're not doing this anymore. She's like, why are we rehearsing on Zoom? I'll see you when we're back. Which is like, like you got to stick up for everybody.
Yeah, it was accurate.
Okay, let's do Broadway gossip. So the things that people are saying on the Reddits, All In, the show All In.
Okay.
People are saying it's a scam because they're sitting there just reading off of the things. And I'm like, and I kind of was thinking, I was like, well, sometimes City Center, they've got the things too. And I'm like, how do you feel about that? That this is on Broadway. The ticket prices are exorbitant.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a written thing. Or is it like, hey man,
this is the one with the rotating stars.
It's like you're getting 4 pretty big celebs from kind of all over, SNL and all these things, but the people on the Reddits. But then people are like, it's still a good show. But other people are like, the material's out there, so it's a big hubbub.
I think people probably know what they're getting, right? Do they advertise it as such that it's kind of like a stage reading?
I think they kind of advertise it as such closer to like the opening.
Oh, okay.
You know, like maybe tickets were already bought, and then they're like, by the way, we're sitting.
Oh wait, they're just sitting down.
They're sitting in chairs.
like a stage reading.
Yeah, like we're sitting right now.
Oh, I didn't.
But
know
I think that I've heard it's right now. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda, A.D. Bryant, Nick Kroll, I think, and someone else. And I hear that they're mainly off book. But I heard that some of the first people were kind of reading a lot.
Okay.
And so the people on the Reddits are they're rioting on Reddit. They're type rioting.
I get
Do we
it.
care? Or is it kind of like, hey man, we're just doing it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, if you've paid like $400, you probably want to
up.
see a little movement,
Walk around a little
little playing of the scene.
Interesting.
Not a reading of the scene.
Interesting.
I understand the fury.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, and I also understand that, if people like kind of just want to go to see a specific person and see something, it's like, I also get that. But also, people are kind of like,
it's a little too cash.
a little cash, a little pajamas, embroidered pajamas. Okay,
Yeah.
Here's a couple other theater questions for you. Is there a popular character in a show that you think you could fall in love with?
Like in real life?
Yeah, like a show. 'Cause for me, I think it's anything that Danny Burstein plays.
I know.
Like I watched him
love
in
Danny.
Gypsy as Herbie. I was like, I love Herbie.
Yeah.
He's so lovable. So is Joshua Henry. I think he's a star in whatever
Oh my gosh.
he does.
Well, yes.
Even in Carousel, I was like, you're the mean one, but you're still fantastic.
No, I mean he's the sweetest, best person.
Yeah.
Well, I saw my husband in Gatsby, and I
there we
definitely.
go.
He went on for the role of Gatsby, and I.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah. Well, he was a temporary replacement over the summer, but yeah, he went on in like May and June, July-ish. He went on in that time.
So it's like you
And-
got to see him as a different character, and you would still would have fallen in love with him.
I did,
really
even though he was
cute.
kissing, even though it was not. It's so funny though, because like I'm so easily able to like separate it. It's like just watching him.
Yeah.
Where when he, spoiler alert, dies at the end. My older daughter perished in her seat.
No, she didn't.
She was so upset, even though we like warned her. And
Yeah.
I was like, cover your eyes.
Yeah.
Like there's about to be a gunshot. Perished. It was too close to home for her.
Oh my God.
She's always been like that. I took her to see. He also stood by in Tootsie for the lead, and I took her to. She was like 5 then, and it was probably also just past her bedtime. But at the end, I think Lily Cooper's character like slaps him, and everyone's mad at him.
Yeah.
And she was like,
They're pissed.
"Why is everyone mad at Daddy?" And
That's
like
so adorable.
perished. So, but
Perished.
she's very close with her feelings.
Okay. I love that.
But yeah, I guess I kind of cheated the answer to that question.
No, but I like that.
Yeah.
I like Gatsby. And then one more thing, and then it's going to be time for our hot scene cold read.
Okay.
But I want to ask you, do you believe in signs? And if so, what's the biggest one you've ever received, and was it from someone?
First of all, I thought you said, do you believe in science?
Do you believe in science?
Which in this day and age is
this became a
kind
whole
of
different
valid
podcast.
question. Yeah, I kind of do believe in signs. 11 is my lucky number.
Okay.
And a lot of times, if I'm seeing the number 11 a lot, like something
gonna
good
happen.
comes along. So that's kind of a thing that I
like
do.
that.
And then sometimes, like when you're auditioning for something, you'll like see a lot of references to it. But sometimes I think that's just you like noticing things because you're like it's on your mind.
Yep.
But sometimes that kind of comes to fruition, but sometimes you feel like it's a sign and then it's not.
I know.
You don't
I
get
know. I'm trying to like be more aware and trying to like see if things are around. Like I see pennies a lot. My grandma always would stick a penny in her shoe. And so I'm like, that's something.
Yeah, it's her saying
Maybe that's
hello.
something. It
Yeah.
could be her saying hello.
Yeah.
All right, Kev, you want to come in and do hot scene cold read with us? So this is a scene that you've never seen before.
No.
Kevin.
A true cold read.
A true cold read. Here we go. We've got our producer, Kevin, who's going to help out. This is from a little-known play. It was only lasted just one night, and it's called Come Up and See Me Sometime, all right?
Oh, what year is it from?
40-something.
It sounds
40,
like
42. That was
sounds
the theme.
about right.
I will start it off. I didn't write the names, but you will be... I'll start it off, and then you'll be the next player.
Okay.
So this is a hot scene cold read with Nikki Renne Daniels for our play. Come up and see me sometime, okay?
Okay.
And it goes off the rails, let me tell you. All right. Did anyone see you come in?
Just the gardener.
The gardener, old Big Mouth Smith. He'll tell Big Gary.
So let him find out. I'm tired of all this sneaking around Pruitt.
But Dolores, you know what will happen to me if Big Gary finds out about us. Why, he'll...
Stop it right there, Pruitt. You can't live like this. You are a grown, modern woman, and you deserve some pleasure.
But Dolores, he'll go mad, and we don't want him to go mad. I don't think you know what Big Gary is capable of when he goes mad.
I know what you are capable of, Pruitt, and it's holding your own against scabby-kneed old fatty like Big Gary.
I suppose you're right. It's time Big Gary knew.
I need you to march right up to Big Gary and say, Gary, I am lactose intolerant. I cannot take your milk anymore. It's making me sick.
And I'll tell him you've been coming around to see me with oat milk so that I don't have a bad tum-tum. But he's going to wonder what I've been doing with all the milk.
Pruitt, Big Gary is a cow. You do not need to explain yourself to him. It's wrong how you go checking in with that cow every night. That literal cow, that farm animal, an actual cow. Telling him your whereabouts? He doesn't speak English, Pruitt.
But he's been so good to me, Dolores, giving me so much milk, and this is how I repay him by lying.
Pruitt, it's literally what a cow does. It gives milk. Every cow does it. Big Gary isn't special or different.
You take that back. You take that back right now. Big Gary is special. He's my special boy.
He's not. And also, boy cows don't give milk.
Stop yelling. You're going to wake him.
I don't care if she wakes. I am not scared of a damn piece of livestock.
Dolores, please, you have to stop.
Let that old cow come for me. I am not scared.
Big Gary, no. Oh, rest in peace, Dolores. Sorry, you got killed by Big Gary. Thank you so much. That was Hot Scene, Cold Read. Kevin, thank you for your cow.
Thanks, Kevin.
We had to text him last night to be like, I need you to come and move for me if you don't mind. That was Hot Scene, Cold Read. And now one last final question, and this is going to say a lot about who you are. I've got, it's a bit of a horoscope, but I need to know which jellicle cat are you most attracted to?
Attracted to?
Yes. Who could you see yourself with?
That would have to be Rum Tum Tugger, right?
Rum Tum Tugger. Oh, Rum Tum Tugger. He's a total fuckboy.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
sorry about that.
it would be like, a fling. Not like a
You don't
long-term
get serious
thing.
with Rum Tum
No,
Tugger.
you know what you're getting into.
You know what you're getting. Well, Nikki, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Please tell everyone where they can see you, where they can follow you, where they can support you.
Well, I am at Nikki Renne Sings. That's NIKKIRENEE Sings. On Instagram, and I am on TikTok and also Twitter, although I don't really do, or what is it? X now, I guess.
X.
Yeah.
It's still Twitter to me. I'm 42. It's always going to be Twitter.
It's mostly retweets, but
Yes.
Instagram is probably the real place. And then I guess I have a Facebook fan page or business page, whatever they call it now. I don't know.
One of those things. She's got it all.
And my website, NikkiRenneDaniels.com.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.